Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, June 25th meeting of the Chappaqua Central School District Board of Education. We've been in executive session since 7:01, discussing the employment history of particular persons and contractual discussion. Do I have a motion to bring us back to public session?
I move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Jane Jeffries.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome to our last, I guess, official meeting of the year, public official meeting of the year. Doesn't appear on this side. Yeah, that's in here. So for President's Report, I have a couple things to review. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for helping me this year in my role. Thank you to each of you for being wonderful public servants for our community. Again, sorry you're leaving us, Jeffrey. It'll be a
Best board member ever.
I see that.
Because the clown who took his plaque home last week, not remembering we had one more meeting.
Right. So thank you. Thank you to Vicki and Jane and to Holly. And Holly finishing her first year. I hope you had a wonderful experience. It's a little bit of craziness, but a lot of work.
And we want to thank you too, Warren, for being a
thank
great
you.
president. And,
I get
being
I-
very-
All of your work
I
this year.
get-
very patient.
I get
A
all
lot.
my from you guys.
Yeah.
So we're thank you, Christine. You've had a pretty amazing year. We had you hired a brand new staff, well, almost brand new staff. We have Adam is curriculum, and Tony for HR, and of course John for business.
Same old John.
But which we're happy. But I mean, you had a new staff to bring on. We had a lot of changes. We have a new high school principal. We have Seven Bridges principal. We had interim principals, NAPs at Seven Bridges. Roaring Brook principal and assistant principal and interim assistant principal. And Grafflin, a new principal, and West Orange, a new assistant principal. And that was a lot of hiring by you and your team. And I think we have a great team in place here. So thank you, Tony, for doing the HR job, and for Adam for assisting with that, and John. You also manage our capital projects that we had. We still have many of. Teaching and learning, Adam, that we continue to improve on. The strategic planning committee and the strategic direction that our district is taking. We had a great budget that you and John worked on that we were able to pass. Tri-States with Heidi McCarthy, Director of Special Ed, and math and STEM and engineering with Josh, and literary with the whole phonics direction with Jamie. So, I mean, this has been we've had a really productive year. It was, I think your first year was great to start, and now you have your own team, and you can just see the amount of movement we've taken forward.
Thank you, Warren.
The other thing I'd like to take 5.20 out of order. So, can I have a recommendation, or can I have a motion? Be resolved, the Board of Education hereby appoints Dr. Christine Ackerman, the Superintendent of Schools of the Chappaqua Central School District for the period of time commencing June 25th today, 2019, and terminating on June 24th, 2024, and be it further resolved that the Board hereby authorize its president to execute agreement with Dr. Ackerman, which sets forth the terms and conditions of her employment as superintendent of schools for Chappaqua during the period from June 25th, 2019 through June 24th, 2024. A copy of which agreement shall be incorporated by reference within the meetings of this meeting, and be further resolved that effective June 25th, 2019, the superintendent contract dated June 29th, 2018 is hereby declared null and void and no further effect.
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Yes, me.
Any discussion?
Just on the numbering? 5.21. Yes, it should be 5.21 because
Okay.
we have a 5.2.
And it's the other, if we're going to do that, 5.20, not 5.20.
Okay, so do I have a motion? Do I have a motion for 5.21?
I move 5.21.
Do I have a second for
I still
5.21?
second to 5.21.
Any discussion? The only thing I'd like to say is that, Christine, you have the full support of the board
I appreciate that.
as our superintendent, as well as your team. So we really appreciate what you're doing for our community, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Confidence.
Aye.
Well, I guess thank you so much. I really appreciate you considering extending my contract in this way. I'm really committed to Chappaqua, and I have a great team. My family's happy here. I couldn't be more supported by the Board of Education or the administration, and I just look forward to the years ahead and the good work that we're able to do within this community due to the support of all of our partnerships. So thank you very much. I'm really honored. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, what else do I have in my, full support? I think I'm done.
So I'll just talk very briefly because we typically don't have a meeting like this, but we had so much stuff that was happening, and then we had a new law passed, so it was important that we have a public meeting to address some of these policy changes that needed to take place tonight. So I just want to acknowledge we had all of our moving up ceremonies and our graduation, and it was absolutely amazing. So I want to thank our administrators and our faculty for all the logistical support that they
Can I say something?
yeah, sure.
You, don't like outside right now.
No, the monsoon.
But you did a great job of making sure the weather was perfect for graduation by high
It was the
school.
most stressful weather call I think I've made to date.
If you're not finished building your ark, hurry up.
But
Easier than not as easy as snow
no,
course.
it was definitely more difficult, and I appreciate the patience of our families. And I just want to share with you that a lot of work goes behind the scenes to make those events happen between our staff, our partnership with the PTA, and our students. So I just want to thank everyone for such a memorable experience. It was tremendous. I also want to acknowledge Jessica. She's our outgoing PTA president, and thank you, Jessica, for leading our parents and engaging in so many meaningful activities with us over the course of this year. And then want to welcome Lori, who will be taking your seat next year. So I couldn't ask for better people to work with.
Jessica's moving closer to the door.
So tomorrow's our last day. So as always, we appreciate our faculty and our staff and our administrators, our students and our parents. We're excited to have been able to participate in an excellent school year. And I just want to take a moment myself to thank my team up here. Every major decision that happens in this district that comes to the central office, we sit around in our think tank and we collectively make together. So I couldn't ask for better partners to work with me. And then, of course, the Board of Education has been so supportive of the district and of big decisions that had to be made this year that had to be communicated out. And I want to thank you for that. But I also want to thank you for your support when we've gone through some really difficult emotional experiences with the loss of some of our students, of our faculty. So your support is just never wavers, and I want to thank you for that. And Warren and Lisa, our partnership to get the agenda done and to work on all the issues that we need to work on collectively. I want to thank you both for being such a good team to help make these meetings happen in an efficient way for our community. So thank you, and we look forward to our first meeting in July. And we'll be updating you throughout the summer on different projects and summer experiences that we'll be participating in. And one will begin on Thursday, so we look forward to sharing that with you in our wrap-up at the end of the summer months. So thank you.
Okay, committee reports, communications.
Not at this time. We have had meetings, but we don't have anything to report as yet. We worked a little bit on the logo and other matters,
Right,
but
right, nothing really to report.
no
of any
report today.
significance,
I
right?
gotta tell you guys, I love when the communications committee says we have nothing to say. It's just like a small thing, but
Well, sometimes that's the best thing.
Facilities, do you have anything to build?
I missed the last meeting, so Holly? No. John, anything?
We have one thing, right, John? Do you want to
We
share?
we had a facility committee meeting last week, and we updated everyone on the capital projects. We're pretty much still on the same schedule as what was reported out in the budget newsletter.
And the next facilities meeting is August 1st at 2 p.m.?
August 1st at 2 p.m., that's correct.
John, did you want to share the update based on the heat alleviation plan? Because we had gotten some information that Vicki had
Sure.
requested. Well, we posted it on the website. Vicki, at our last meeting when we had discussed this, you had asked us to figure out what the pricing was to just do a plan to...
So when we made the presentation last time, we seek guidance from the board regarding all these items. And the last bullet point is added, because at the time, the board asked the superintendent to get an estimate of cost to do a study of the 6 cafeterias, if we air condition the 6 cafeterias. And we got a quote, and it's $20,000. This is by KG&D. And we raised the question, how come 6 cafeterias, $20,000, and the entire school district is $37,400? Is really the economy of scales, because when they come, they basically, with all the other spaces, they just probably look at what is it in existence, and then they do a square footage calculation. So if we do the 6 cafeterias, do a study, is $20,000.
What's the one above it? The district analysis,
Everything.
that's
That's-
just to pay for the analysis?
Yes,
and
only
the
the-
actual work on the cafeterias would be $20,000?
No.
That would be
The study.
The
The
analysis
analysis
of
just
the
on what the 6
cafeteria.
cafeterias.
Both of them are analysis.
Analysis
One
of
is
entire district or analysis of cafeterias only?
Got you. Okay, because I was
And
going
the
to say that's a
discrepancy is
crazy
be-
low number, right?
Right.
The ratio discrepancy is because of, as John just said.
I got it. Okay,
Right.
got it.
I'm going to recommend we do no analysis right now. And we just see where we are next year with our 2 interventions that we're trying. We didn't have any days that were over 85 degrees
Okay.
this summer, going into the summer. Okay?
Right,
Okay.
we haven't experienced the plan.
Right.
Right.
So let's
We'll
just
see
let
where
the
we
go. Hard to
plan
know
play
what-
out before.
Okay.
so
Got
just
it.
recall,
What the next steps should be.
you remember at Bell, we're going to do the white roof on the 4th floor. Correct me if I get it wrong. And then at Greeley, we already air conditioned the kitchen. And then right now we're looking to put fans in the cafeteria area. Except we got a quote, and the quote is higher than our threshold, so we have to go out to bid. So you may see it with a recommendation to award a bid at probably the next board meeting. And then also, we're going to have thermostats at all the classrooms, and Joe is working on that.
Okay.
And the 4th floor classrooms. I don't think you mentioned that.
They did.
The white
Oh, I
roof.
thought you mentioned the white roof.
Yes, that's the white roof.
There's nothing recommended to do on the 4th floor at this point.
Other than-
Yeah, we're not doing anything else. At Bell, we're going to do the white roof. This is, if we do the air conditioner, it's going to be $220,000.
Right,
And the
okay.
board said that not to go forward
Okay,
at the last
that's
meeting.
right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Audit committee, we met this evening. Every 5 years, we have to go out for bid for new auditors, external auditors. So we met this evening to interview 2 different companies, or 2 different auditing firms, accounting firms, and we will update you at the next meeting and let you know what we decide. I think that's it. Public comment period. If anyone would like to make a comment?
Would either of you like to make a comment?
No? We'll move on to approvals and ratifications. Can I have a motion for 3.1 and 3.2? Together, be it resolved, Board of Education accepts the minutes of June 12th and June 14th special board meeting.
I'll move 3.1 and 3.2.
For a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3.3 is a policy. It's policy 5065, immunizations and health examinations, first reading and adoption.
Oh, so what happened is that the state ed, the legislator, in response to the measles outbreak, eliminated the religious exemption opportunity for families in this district. So we have to engage in a process where we...
It's statewide. not just-
Statewide, yeah. So we have to engage in a process where we contact these families to notify them of what they need to do in order for their kids to attend school in September. But before we do that, we need to change the policy so it reflects the new legislation. So I'd like us to, our attorney has updated our policy based on the new laws, so I'd like to approve that tonight, so when we contact the parents, everything is aligned correctly, so there's no confusion. So that's why we have this in front of you tonight for not only review, but also approval at the same time.
May I have a motion to accept 3.3?
Well, I will move 3.3.
Do I have a second?
So we're not accepting it, we're
Do I have
just,
it? Do I have a second?
Moving so we can discuss it.
right.
Do we have, let's have a discussion.
Wait, did Jeff second?
Jeff second?
Okay.
I second?
Did you second?
I will if you need me.
Okay, Jeffrey second.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so now,
Discussion.
Hey, what did we
Discussion.
just, what did I just second?
We seconded that we were going to
To waive a
read,
second reading.
waive a second reading.
Okay,
And to approve the
Right,
policy.
if it's approved or not.
okay, so we have discussion, so do people have
Discussion.
discussions on this policy?
Any questions?
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
Just, there's, one is typo. And, the paragraph, now I'm gonna count down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the end of paragraph 6. It talks about the school district medical director to determine the validity of a proposed medical exemption.
Oh.
The C is missing.
Thank you.
Do you have it, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay.
And the only other thing I would say that this, it is spelled out about the procedure for a medical exemption, and then the next paragraph starts out otherwise, comma, students who are not fully immunized. I would just propose to change the word otherwise so that there's no confusion to read in the absence of a medical exemption, comma, students who are not fully immunized.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, or we could say in the absence of a medical exemption,
No, that's good.
we could leave it like that or say the aforementioned or whatever, but if we just say in the absence of a medical exemption, I think
yeah,
that
actually, I
covers
had
us.
seen that too, and I'd like to
Okay.
change it, yeah.
Is there any other suggestions? Because we can accept it as amended.
Right. The only other question I had is there was a change in health screenings about scoliosis, and there's a different age for male and female students, and that confused me. It seems like under health screenings,
Yep.
it says scoliosis screening at least once each school year for male students in grade 9 and female students in grades 5 and 7.
that might just be a workload issue. I don't know. And so everybody gets it a couple of times, but not at the whole place at once, I don't know.
I would guess it's actually about the developmental
I'm wondering if
process
it is.
of.
So, I mean,
Say
I'm fine to
puberty
leave
to
it, I
different
just would like
ages.
Yes,
it
okay.
just didn't make sense to
I'm
me.
not a physician, I think scoliosis, as I heard, tends to affect females more than males.
It does, so, I mean, that, I'm assuming that there's a reason for that, I'm just maybe down the road, if
Yep.
we had to make a change, I'm just sort of
Right.
flagging it.
Was this a legal change or was this something that you put in?
It was
This
a
looks like
legal-
legal change.
These are legal changes.
Right.
I mean, we would be hard pressed to come
Right,
up with
that's
something
why,
like this.
it just stood out to me,
This
so.
is usually how the law is written.
Right,
But
I would
if
assume.
you'd like more information on why the law is written like this, that would be
Yeah,
some
I mean,
medical
I'll find that out down
background.
the
We
road,
could,
but
we
I'm-
could find that out.
And we can always amend the policy.
Right,
if
but
we
I'm
want to.
fine, I just wanted to flag that, and then that's all I have.
A comment I would make is we write out the grades, 1st, 5th,
Oh, yes.
in the health examinations, but then in health screenings, we're using the numbers. And I would just request that we are consistent by using the
Like, write
written
them
out word.
Right, I think that's a good idea.
I don't know, if I would be consistent by using the numbers, it's just clearer. Do you prefer to write them out?
I prefer the
My
numbers.
my grammatical memory from elementary school is
Right.
that if it's under 10,
If
you're
it's under 10,
supposed
you're
to
supposed to
write it
write it
out.
out. Yes.
Right, yeah, I
But we
mean,
have a lot of people who should know.
we have this,
Following the
In this
APA,
case,
that's
the
not.
way it's actual-
That is the way to do it, write it out if it's under 10, right? Yes.
right, but,
But then
I
you
think
get
we've
11.
had this, we've had this discussion elsewhere, so
We're gonna add to
there are grammatical rules, and then there are other considerations governing policy and how policy is written.
Consistency is all I
I think with
request.
numbers, it's about quantity. This is not in reference to quantity, like we're
Right,
talking about
the number of a
five.
grade is
Yeah.
actually,
You're
it's a
talking
title.
about-
Right,
So I
right,
think
right.
that's
Right.
what
It's like
I'm
fifth grade, yeah.
It's a title more
So-
than a quantity.
But aside from all these very interesting points, I think
Paradigm.
we want the policies to be clear to the public and to be written in a way that
Yes.
people can look at it and see right away what's required.
Yeah.
Oh, either way, I
So-
just think it should be consistent in both sections.
Right.
Right. I think consistency, I'm always a stickler for that, so either we flip it to the grades like 1, 2, 3, or we do, right, we
Or you
should
can
do
do
it the
first
same way
open
throughout.
paren
What
one,
do people
3.
wanna do? We-
Or both.
I'd like
say
to just,
numbers.
I would like to just do the numbers.
Okay. let's
And then,
just do the
can I
numbers.
just go back to you, Jane? I just got online here, I was quick to just research it. There's variance in body maturity.
Right,
And
that's
that's
what-
why
okay.
girls have to be done earlier.
Earlier,
boys.
got it, okay,
Okay.
thank you, okay,
Okay.
got it,
It's a new paradigm, this policy.
yeah.
Right. Any other discussion?
I just would like to say, sorry, we had this issue when I came here, and we
Yeah.
had a lot of parents upset about the religious exemption. And so the comments were, listen, if you don't like the process or the policy, the law needs to be changed. Well, here we are, and the law has been changed.
Right.
So I hope that our families that were strong advocates for this adjustment in the legislation can see that their efforts and the efforts of others really could make an impact on the way that we operate here.
Right.
And it's done this was done the right way. So I'm happy we're at a place where we're able to make some consistent changes that I
Backed
think
up
that
by
our
the legislature.
and that our community rightfully called for, but we weren't able to accommodate because of the laws that we were required to follow. So I see this as positive for us, and we're going to do our best to help our families who need support to be able to move forward with this policy in the way that they need to in order for their kids to attend school here in September. So we'll start working on this tomorrow.
All in favor of item 3.3 as amended? Aye?
Byram Hill.
Okay. Recommended action?
Okay, I can go back to I recommend 4.1 instructional as presented.
3?
I move 4.1.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Just want to thank Tony and our administrators and our teachers and our kids who've been involved. We have a lot of great applicants that are now in front of you for appointment. I think will be amazing members of our staff, and looking forward to having them come in August to our new staff orientation. So, thank you,
Great.
Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Tony.
present 4.2 non-instructional as presented.
I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for 4.2, non-instructional.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Megan, can I get a motion for 5.1 CSE summaries reported to the board for the 2019-2020 school year, reported to the board on June 25th, 2019.
I'll move.
Second.
5.1.
Second? Do I have a second?
I seconded.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5.2, be resolved, the Board of Education approves a gift from the Roaring Brook Elementary School PTA in the amount of $1,181.74 for the renovation of the Roaring Brook gazebo.
I'd like to move 5.2.
I'll second 5.2. Discussion?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's,
Thank you, Roaring
Great.
Brook PTA.
Thank you,
All-
Roaring Brook. I'm really
Great
happy to see
structure.
that come to fruition because we started talking about it when I was the chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5.3, be resolved, the Board of Education approves a gift from the Robert E. Bell Middle School in the amount of $4,434.32 for the purchase of new sound equipment and a renovation of the Bell Garden.
I move 5.3.
I'll second 5.3.
Discussion?
Thank you very
Thank
much
you,
again.
Cool.
Very generous gifts.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5.4, be resolved, the Board of Education approves the Chapel School Foundation Instagrant gift for the literate brain, linking researchers with practitioners, the Summer Literary Research Institute, in the amount of $2,500 submitted by the Horace Greeley High School literary teacher Susan Miller. I will move 5.4.
I will second 5.4.
Any discussion?
Just want to
Okay,
thank
thank you.
CSF.
Thank you, CSF.
Yes, the donations keep on coming, and the
All in
grants.
favor?
Yeah,
Aye.
thank you.
Item 5.5. Be resolved, the Board of Education approves a proposal from Johnson Controls for the library at Horace Greeley High School for all materials and labor for project management, design, engineering, technical installation, and customer training to 1. Furnish, install, and wire 10 BACnet JCI Metasys network room sensors. 2. Furnish, install, and wire 1 JCI Metasys FS FEC field controller. 3. Install, furnish, and wire 1 JCI Metasys MS-IOM input-output modules. 4. Extend communication wiring to a new panel. 5. Custom graphics created and installed at the owner's front-end operator workstation. And 6. Commission and demonstrate to the owner's representative in the amount of $27,500 and authorizes the board president to execute this agreement. Do I have a motion for 5.5?
You got it.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
5.6, be resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the law firm of Sharp, Perlson, May, and Lambert, LLP, to appeal the May 20th, 2019 decision, order, and judgment in Bielenson et al. Versus the Board of Education, etc. Index number 70427/18 to the Second Department of the Appellate Division of the New York Supreme Court under the terms and retainer agreement between the law firm and the Chappaqua Central School District. I will move 5.6. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
5.7, be resolved, the board authorizes the law firm of Shaw, Perlson, May, Lambert, LLP to appeal the May 29, 2019 decision, order, and judgment in Packer et al. Versus Chappaqua Central School District. Index number 70408/18 to the Second Department of the Appellate Division of New York State Supreme Court under the terms of the retainer agreement between the law firm and the Chappaqua Central School District. Do I have a motion for 5.7?
I move 5.7.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Warren, I think you might be able to take these next four together. They're all supplemental
Yep.
memorandums.
So we'll take 5.8, 9, 10, and 11, the supplemental memorandum agreements with CSEA, CCT, CCT, and CAA.
You're not going to read them all?
No. Do you want me to read them all?
I want you to do what you think is appropriate.
I think we're passing supplemental memorandum of agreement with these 4 unions
As presented.
as presented in the agenda.
I move those 4 items.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I'll second those 4 items. Any discussion on those 4 items? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for approving those 4 items. We appreciate it. Did you want Adam to talk briefly about the fellowships, Vicki? We just approved them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, so fellowships, as you know, are one of our most intense, comprehensive opportunities for our faculty to access professional development. And the fellowships typically evolve over time based on what the district's priorities are at any given time. Most of them are 2-year fellowships. So TARP, which was our Teacher Action Research Project, and ATF, the Advanced Technology Fellows, just rolled off. Those just ended at the end of this year. And through the budget process, we reserved that money for new fellowships that align with a variety of district priorities. So this MOA allows us to, or permits us to, develop and advertise for Shift 21, which will be a new fellowship shaping the future of teaching in the 21st century. That'll be focused on us moving into our new spaces and supporting teachers in L building and the STEAM buildings and the GLCs in the elementary schools. This allows us also to continue with our Wilson fellowships. We've had that to help get many of our teachers Wilson certified, so this actually will help us with Wilson 2 for some teachers that want to continue that Wilson 1 certification. They already got the Wilson 1 this year, and they'll do Wilson 2 next year. And for some of our teachers, they'll access Wilson Level 1 as part of this SMOA. And then the last one is equity, inclusion, and social justice, and that's one that Tony's actually going to lead, so you can give us a thumbnail of that.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. So we're going to be launching a fellowship next year. We're going to be looking at the broad idea of social justice, specifically through the lens of equity and inclusivity, knowing that we're an inclusive school district, but broadening that lens a little bit to think about equity and social justice. I want to promote culturally relevant and culturally responsive practices in our classroom. So it really, the focal point really aligns nicely with the curriculum work that's unfolding and the social emotional learning work that's unfolding. Will support that through that sort of social justice lens, and also help us align our practices with some of the expectations that New York State is putting out now around social justice and culturally relevant practices. So excited about that, and our staff has expressed interest in unpacking these concepts and thinking about their own biases and their own socio-cultural experiences and how they affect the work in the classrooms.
So I just think that the professional learning here is so relevant, it's so comprehensive, and really so progressive. I think it would be nice if, we sent out notices to the community, on a regular basis to just let people know what's going on in the area, in this area, in our district. I mean, I don't know if you want to put all that on the website, but I think people are, pretty regularly wondering what we're doing to prepare our teachers for the new spaces, but not just the new spaces, but just moving forward into the future. So I think it's really good information.
It's a good
for
suggestion.
people to
Thank you.
have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have to do our opening video for our families, and we don't have to introduce all these new people, so maybe
Right.
that's what we highlight in it.
Okay.
Thank God you're bringing us back.
I know. Okay.
Okay, can I get a motion 5.12, be resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves Bradhurst Site Construction Change Order Number 4 to furnish and install an irrigation system as part of athletic field improvements at the Robert E. Bell Middle School in the amount of $63,630. Authorizes the Board President to execute the agreement.
I move item 5.12.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All I like to say is, boy, the grass down there is like knee-high. It's growing like crazy.
Like corn, knee-high by the 4th of July.
Right. All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I would point out that it's the actual cost is slightly less than the original estimate was going to be, so.
Save money. 5.13, be resolved, the Board President is authorized to sign a retainer agreement with the law firm Sharp, Carlson, May, and Lambert for the 2019-2020 school year as presented to the Board at this meeting. A copy of said retainer agreement shall be incorporated by reference within the meetings of this meeting. I will move 5.13.
I'll second 5.13.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5.14, be it resolved, the Board of Education approves an agreement with Civic Solutions Group LLC effective July 1st, 2019 to end July 30th, 2020 at the rate set by the New York State Education Department and authorizes the Board President to execute this agreement. Do you have a motion for 5.14?
I move 5.14.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Civic with an S?
I know. Can I get a motion for 5.5?
It just doesn't look right, does it?
5.15, be resolved, the Board of Education approves a contract with with SEO Family of Services, Westbrook Preparatory School for the educational services effective July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020 at the rate set by the New York State Education Department and authorizes the Board President to execute this agreement.
I'll move 5.15.
I second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
5.16, be resolved, the Board of Education approves an independent evaluation agreement with Dr. Suzanne Branicki for an independent neuropsychological evaluation for student number 702174 in the amount not to exceed $2,900 and authorizes the Board President to execute this agreement. I have a motion for 5.16.
I move 5.16.
Do I have a second? I will second.
Second.
I got it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion for 5.17? Be resolved, the Board of Education approves the agreement for services with NWAA for professional development in map growth, math, reading, and language during the school year 2019-2020 in the amount not to exceed $20,575, and authorizes the board president to execute this agreement.
I'll move 5.17.
Do I have
A
a
second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5.18, be resolved, the Board of Education approves a new lease agreement dated June 21st, 2019 with Xerox Financial Services regarding copy machines and authorizes the board president to execute this agreement. I will move 5.18. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 5.19, be it resolved to increase the sick compensated absences budget line A 21-10-139-36-251 by the amount of $71,223.89, and the compensated absences budget line A 9089-880-36 by $133,445.50 as an additional budget appropriation for the 2018-29 budget, and that such appropriation be funded by the Employee Benefit Accrued Liability Reserve Fund. That's a mouthful.
I will move 5.19.
I will second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry. This wasn't on the backup, so does anyone have a question about this? They need John to explain it. He sent a memo out.
Yeah, I think John had talked about a previous board understanding that we would
Pay down that reserve.
pay down that reserve.
Right.
So
Okay. I
I
just
guess
wanna make
that
sure
is
everyone's
something
okay
that we
with
can
that.
talk about again at a later point.
Okay.
Item 5.20, the real 5.20.
Oh, you gotta vote
Oh,
on
did
it.
we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
The real 5.20, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves CCSD bid B 2019-14 security project at Robert E. Bell Middle School to be awarded Casabella Contracting of New York Incorporated in the amount of $250,000, and authorizes the board president to execute this agreement.
I'll move 5.20.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a recommendation on facilities?
Oh, we have an amendment, the AP for the high school.
Oh, right. Did you give us that?
That was on 4.1 instructional.
We should have.
We should have added that. So,
Separate.
addendum number 1 on 4.1 instructional. Can I get a motion? Can you recommend that, please? You guys read it?
Okay, so I recommend an addendum to 4.1 instructional. Lisa, does that sound right to you? Okay,
You recommended what?
an addendum. What did I say?
Addendum.
Oh, I recommend, Lisa, that did not sound right.
She got the context up.
I recommend,
I heard
yes,
Amendment.
I really like
Addendum
that.
Lisa,
number 1.
thank you for acknowledging that it was right, even though it was completely wrong. I recommend an addendum
Spirit.
to 4.1 instructional.
I move we accept the superintendent's words.
Sorry.
4.1.
Late.
I will second that. Any discussion? Christine?
Oh, okay, so
Discussion?
Let's read
we
that.
have a walk-on, because we just finished this reference checking today, but we have our new high school assistant principal. So, Tony, did you want to just describe a little bit about Adam?
Yes, so we're excited to share that Dr. And we have one of our parents who's on the interview committee is here with us, Dr. Adam Schoenbart, who is joining us as our new high school assistant principal at Greeley. Adam comes to us from directly from Darien, Connecticut, where he is currently serving as the assistant principal at their high school. Prior to his time there in Darien, Adam was a teacher in Ossining, where he worked as an English teacher and an instructional technology coach, where he did professional development for staff. Adam recently completed his doctorate at Manhattanville, and he is someone who is really active in the region as it relates to professional learning, both engaging and presenting. So we're really excited about having him on board. He went through a pretty rigorous process in a tight timeline. We had really wonderful family members and kids and staff members who came in on their own time to engage in interviews last week. So thank you to our stakeholders for participating. Thank you to the board for hearing this recommendation.
Okay. All in favor of accepting the superintendent's addendum?
Oh my goodness.
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Okay.
We're happy to have Adam
Appreciate that.
as a part of our team. So our administrative team next year is complete.
Will he
So,
be joining
excited.
us in July?
He will be at the retreat,
He will be at the retreat.
so.
All right,
We have an addendum.
all right. Number 6, facilities. Any additional?
Oh, we have another, isn't this?
That was it.
Oh, we did that one.
We did that one. We did,
All right, no.
okay. We did 5.21 earlier. Facilities.
I recommend you acknowledge all those change orders that I've already approved.
I move that we take our head out of the sand and acknowledge this change orders.
I will second the acknowledgement of the change orders. Any discussion? All in favor? We acknowledge.
There's no financials.
No financials tonight. Number 7. Number 8, notice of future meetings. Wednesday, July 10th, 2019, 7:30 p.m., reorganization meeting. Horace Greeley High School Academic Commons, right here. And then Wednesday, August 7th, 2019, 7:30 p.m. For the tax warrant. Horace Greeley High School Academic Commons. We will not be adjourning into executive session, and we will not reconvene. We'll adjourn this evening. So may I get a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:48 p.m.?
I move we adjourn the meeting at 20:49.
Okay.
I will second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Messed her out.
Messed around. Great job.